Welcome to the Center of Ki and Yoga with Leah. Yes, that is me. All right, so today's class is all about the ankles. We're going to be doing this class from a seated position and also in a tabletop position, so on the hands and the knees. And we're going to be working through stretching through the ankle joint itself, also through the feet and the lower leg as well. So let's get out our mats. The only prop or apparatus you might want to get is maybe a rolled up towel, or if you have a bolster or a thick cushion you could use instead, that would be good. So make sure you've got that at the ready. Let's get started. So coming onto your mat, we're going to start on the hands and knees. So in a tabletop position, so knees are hip width wide, hands are under the shoulders. I'm going to just do a couple of cat-cow poses. So just take a breath in there. And as you exhale, plug through the arms, make them even longer. All right, take another breath in. And on the exhale, draw the belly up, tuck your head under, squeeze into the belly button. And then breathe in, come to neutral position. And on the exhale, lift the head, lengthen the throat, squeeze into the back, plug into the arms. Now breathe in, come to center. Now I want you to tuck your toes in as well. And on the exhale, draw the belly up, keep the toes tucking into the floor. Breathe in, come to neutral. And then exhale, draw the belly down, keep those toes tucked in to the floor as you do this. Good, one more each way. Inhale to center. Exhale, draw the belly up, squeeze, lengthen the arms. Inhale to center. And then exhale, taking the belly down, lift the head, plug through those arms. Good, and then come back to center and untuck your toes. And we're just going to tap the feet gently on the mat. So tapping, bringing some blood, physically hitting the feet onto the floor. Hopefully you're doing this on a softish mat or a soft floor. If not, throw something under, so maybe throw a cushion so you can tap onto that if you like. Good, all right, and then we're going to tuck our toes in, walk the hands back towards your knees. So maybe we're still resting on the hands, but hopefully we can sit onto the heels and just feel that stretch. Quite a strong stretch for the toes. And just hold and breathe. Soften into the feet. Let the shoulders relax. Just take a moment. Feeling the toes stretch, but also the Achilles tendon and the soles of the feet getting a good stretch there too. All right, let's walk the hands back into tabletop. We're going to untuck those feet and tap them again. More blood and energy moving now through the feet. Excellent. All right, and then lift your feet up. And I want you to make circles now. Circle the feet, warming up through the ankle joint. We're going to do this a couple of different ways in this class today. So this is the first way. And then let's take the feet the other way. I love watching people do this one because some people take the foot in the same direction and some people take the feet in opposite directions like I'm doing now. And you never know what people are going to do. All right, lovely. And then just gently come back and let's just curl into child's pose for a moment. So curling up. Just notice how the tops of the feet get a stretch, automatically get a stretch in this position. Let your shoulders hang there. If your head doesn't make it to the floor, put one fist on top of the other and just sit your head on top. Okay, but if you can and the head gets to the floor comfortably, then just let your arms be by your sides. Make sure you've got some space for the knees. The knees is space, so you've got some room for your belly to hang in between. Lovely, just 2 more breaths here. Good, all right, and curl yourself up gently, and we're going to come up to sitting. So take your legs out in front. So we're going to, I'm just going to shift this way so you can see. So we're going to take one foot up and across, maybe you can get it across. And what we want to do is spread our toes apart and squeeze our fingers in between. This is a great stretch for the toes, but we're going to use this to rotate our ankles as well. So squeeze the toes in between your fingers, get a nice firm grip, so squeeze the toes with your fingers, and then you can either leave the foot on the leg or you can support the ankle with your hand. And we're just going to rotate the foot as we squeeze the toes. So we're manipulating the foot around the ankle joint itself. Good. All right, and then take it the other way. Keep squeezing the toes with your fingers. Yeah, can actually, I mean, some people get really sensitive feet, so this is a good way to start to desensitize that perhaps. Can feel quite nice. All right, and then let that come down. Just give the toes a really good squeeze again with your fingers, and then let your fingers come out. Lovely. And we can just grab our foot, let it be floppy. Good, and then let that leg go. And you're going to notice by looking at your feet, one foot looks completely different, the toes are more spaced, which is a good thing. All right, so let's do that on the other side. So foot comes across, hand, so make sure it's opposite hand to foot. I mean, it can work with the same side. I like to use opposite though. All right, so squeeze those toes in between your fingers. You might need to physically pull them in between. All right, and then give it a nice solid squeeze with the fingers, and we rotate the foot again, going around, just noticing how the ankle joint feels. Really be aware of that. Don't look off somewhere in space. Actually, look at what you're doing. Focus on that, and then take the foot the other way. Notice how your ankle joint moves. What can you see in your ankle as you're doing this? Keep breathing. Good, and then give the toes one last squeeze with your fingers, and then release, let it go, and just give the foot a gentle shake out. Excellent. All right, so we're going to come back to that first one. So last side we did, and this time we're just going to squeeze down the back of the leg. So from about 2 or 3 finger widths above the ankle bone, and we just want to squeeze and release, and then slide down and squeeze and release, and squeeze and release, and squeeze, and release. And let's do that again, about 2 or 3 finger widths above the ankle bone. Squeeze with your thumb, so you're kind of like doing a gentle pinching with the thumb and the finger underneath. Squeeze, release, slide down. Squeeze, release, slide down. This is quite nice, quite therapeutic. Just go to your level. Try to keep the toes back on that foot so that your Achilles tendon is stretching. Lovely. And we can just give it a little rub as well. Be as firm as you like. Beautiful. All right, and let's do the other side. All right, so swapping over. Again, you can measure 2 or 3 finger widths above the ankle. Squeeze in, release, squeeze in, release, squeeze in, release. You should get about 4 or 5 squeezes down the back. And again, squeezing, release, squeeze. Move with the breath as well. Incorporating the breath can be good. And release. Good, and lovely. And then just a gentle rub along that area. Just bringing some warmth and energy into that space, because we're going to be stretching it out a little bit more shortly. Before we do that though, we're going to stretch the tops of the feet again. So let's come onto the knees if we can. Hopefully this is okay. If you need to, you can put a cushion under your bottom. But what we want to do is just hold on, one hand on the floor, one hand on the knee, and we just want to lift the knee up. So as we're doing this, we're getting a stretch through the top of the foot there. Yeah, so breathe in, come down. Let's just stay on the one side. Exhale, pull the knee up. You might feel it all the way into your toes. Breathe in, back, one more. Exhale, pull the knee up. Make sure you're balancing on the hand as well on the other side. And then come down. Let's swap over. Take a breath in. And exhale, pull the knee up. Inhale, come back. Exhale, pull the knee up. Good, one more, breathe in, down. And then exhale, pull. Lovely stuff. Excellent. All right, coming back onto the hands and the knees. So just noticing how that feels through the ankles, through the feet. We're going to press up into down dog in a moment. So what I like to tell people is to take your bottom back, stretch your arms forwards. Hands are about shoulder width. And then keep your hands there, come back up onto the hands and knees. Don't move the knees, but tuck your feet into the floor so they're about hip width wide. Have a little look. Good. And from there, we take a breath in and exhale, press up into down dog. Now, I look a bit crooked here, so I'm just going to straighten myself out. Okay, good stuff. All right, so coming up into down dog. Lovely. So your heels might be lifting high off the floor. Ideally, we actually want to try and press the heels down to the mat. So that's going to stretch through the back of the ankles and the back of the legs. So just breathing and holding here. Try and plug through your arms. Push through your heels. Feel the sacrum lengthen from the crown of the head. Breathing into the belly. With each exhale, see if the heels can stretch closer to the floor. One more breath here. Good, and then gently coming down. Lovely stuff. All right, we'll just have a quick rest on the back after doing down dog. So let that go. Relax your arms and shoulders. Let the feet soften. Breathe down into the belly. So we didn't do a lot of preparation to get into down dog, so hopefully that was okay for you. I was just kind of betting on the fact that you'll be okay to give down dog a try. Just one more breath here. Lovely. All right, and then let's just grab our knees, rock and roll, come up to sitting. All right. So we're coming up, and this is where you're going to need either your cushion or your rolled up towel for the next pose. So get that ready. And what we're going to do is a supported squat. So I'm going to place the heels on the rolled up towel. So your toes are on the floor, but the heels are lifted. Okay, and we can just come, we have the feet slightly turned out, make sure they're not too close together. So a bit wider than the hips. And you can just rest your elbows on your knees and drop the bottom. And we're going to take the bottom down in between, so we're coming into a squat. Now if it's tricky for you to squat, then you can always place something underneath your bottom if you need to, okay, or hold onto something as well. All right, so we're just going to sit here in this squat. I'm going to keep the hands in front of the chest and use the elbows on the upper arms to press the knees open slightly, and we just want to feel how that feels. So it can be quite strong through the hips, but it's also good for the ankle joints. So breathing here. So you can use your elbows on your knees to press them out, but at the same time you can try and squeeze the knees inwards and activate through the inner legs. Just a couple of breaths. Feeling how that feels. Noticing how your ankles and feet are traveling with this. I'm kind of just rocking gently with the breath. Alright, and then gently lifting up the bottom. Take the heels off whatever you're resting them on, and then coming down. Oh, and we'll lie down on the back again. Give that a moment. Let everything soften. Just noticing how the feet feel, how the ankles feel. It's So if you do a lot of work standing on your feet, walking around a lot, these are some great stretches to do for that purpose, to loosen up those joints there. And I would even recommend that at the end of this you do legs up the wall. I have another video which I'll link to at the end of this one for you to do legs up the wall, which just allows, again, it's that gravity working to help drain the lymph out of the legs and to reinvigorate the legs and relax them. It's a really great restorative pose, and I would actually really recommend you do it after this class. And you can stay in it for 5 or 10 minutes and just get the benefit out of having your legs up the wall. So with that in mind, it's time for us to finish. So feel free to jump into the legs up the wall and do that. And if not, just rest here another moment or two. See if you can breathe down into the feet. Notice how that feels. Thanks for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this class today. And like I said at the end, jump into that legs up the wall video and give it a try. I really guarantee that afterwards your legs are going to feel amazing and you're going to feel so relaxed. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in another class real soon. Until then, take care and enjoy life. Bye for now.